All right. All right. What's up? What's up? So we have got a little bit to talk about here. There has been of a lot of transactions in Ramsland the past day or two. So let's go ahead and get into this quick. Troy Hill, his he's headed to the IR, unfortunately. And the newly acquired offensive lineman Ode Abushi is now promoted to the active roster. So there's a lot going on right now. So let's see here. So as y'all know, both Tremaine Ankrum and Troy Hill suffered injuries against the Falcons against our week 2 victory over the Falcons, and it will be remembered as a victory. It will not be remembered as how we almost choked away a 28-3 lead to the very team who lost a Super Bowl with that kind of lead. Okay? But we were able to avoid the curse. It's no offense to the Falcons. I don't have a problem with the Falcons, but it we avoided it. Okay, that would have been disastrous. I would have been so salty. I would have been so salty about that. But I really would have. Like it would have. I would have been in such a bad mood. I really would have. I was just pure. I just felt so relieved when we won the game. So, but hey, you know what they say: a win's a win, right? So, we're 1-1, baby. Okay. Anyway, in that game, unfortunately, Troy Hill and Tremaine Ankrum went down with some injuries. Okay. Ankrum fractured his ankle and he will be out for the remainder of the year. And Troy Hill strained his groin. Difficult injury indeed. Both players have been placed on injured reserve, and as I just said, Ankrum is out for the rest of the season, and Hill is forced to sit out at least 4 games. So Troy, our guy Troy, is definitely going to be out at least 4, maybe even more. Uh, but anyway, the thing is, well, we wanted to see our young secondary. So, Darion Kendrick, Robert Rochelle is in the Kobe Durant. See, because Kobe Durant he's injured too. He has a hamstring injury. I don't really know how bad that is. So I really don't know if he's gonna play week 3 or not. But it's dude, we're getting the injuries are starting to pile up, and we are now having Darion Kendrick and Robert Rochelle step up in their place, next man up. And you want to know something? I believe in these two. I think both of these players will perform very, very well. Okay, so I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay. I really do. I think we'll be okay in the secondary for sure. So, they just gotta stick to their assignments, do what they know how to do. We'll be straight. We'll be straight with that. I'm really not worried about it. Not ready to call it a problem until I see that it's a problem. So I think we're good. Ode Abushi is promoted to the 53. He was added to the practice squad last week, and Brian Allen is still injured. And Ankrum obviously being out, we needed some O line depth. Aboshi, sorry about that. He'll be a candidate to start in place of Ankrum until Allen can return and shift Coleman Shelton back to right guard. So here's the thing. That's the route I see them going. That is the route I 100% see them going. The Rams. It's not necessarily the route I would take. Depending on how this next game goes, I would rather see Coleman at the starting center position, and then AJ Jackson actually still starting at guard. I don't want him to move. I think he plays better at right guard. I just have a feeling after the game. And let's see. I think Abushi can just provide some depth, and then sit Brian. Is the route I would go. Is it the correct route? I don't know. It's just my opinion, but I genuinely feel our O line blocked a lot better, both in run blocking and in pass blocking, with Coleman Shelton manning the center position and a bigger body kind of guy. Well, not necessarily big, but AJ played well, so I'm happy with it. Happy with it. We signed defensive end Zach Van Valkensburg. That's a pretty cool name, actually. We signed him to the practice squad, and it adds some depth to the D line. So there you go, getting yourself on call there. Waived long snapper Matt Overton from the practice squad. Overton was merely a backup plan in the event of Orshek that he couldn't play in week 2 after getting hurt in the opener, but he wound up playing and he appears to be healthy, so we're good, which is good. Long snapper is an important position, man. These special team positions, they're important, so they don't get a lot of press, but they are important. And we're going to move on a little bit. Sean was happy about getting Ibushi. He says that's a big deal. Very, very happy about that. It's going to provide some depth. I really don't know a whole lot about him, to be honest with you. I've heard he was kind of good, but he's going to be mostly as a depth piece, and hopefully we don't have to find out the hard way with injuries. So, because I'm getting tired of the injuries. So let's move on a little bit, because we had some more transactions. This is the transaction podcast for sure. This is the transaction podcast. But the Chiefs went ahead and signed outside linebacker Benton Whitley off our practice squad. Okay, so this guy had I guess Andy. I've heard. I don't know a lot about him, but I've heard he's good though. So I've actually heard the guy is playing. He played well in the preseason, from what I heard. But the Chiefs signed him, and apparently Whitley is going to be on. He's not. He's actually going to be on the roster, like the 53-man roster. He will be on the 53-man roster, which is for at least 3 weeks. So he was an undrafted rookie out of Holy Cross this year, and this is kind of a win. This is a win for him because now he gets to have some playing time, probably, or maybe he's just going to be a rotational player in the game. So that's awesome, dude. You got a guy's going to be going and playing. So best to luck to you, Benton Whitley. Hopefully we don't regret losing him, because that would stink. That would stink. But let's see. We also signed a Raven starting center, a former rather starting center, Matt Sakrua, to the practice squad. Okay, so he's being sent to the practice squad, and I guess the guy used to play. He played for the Giants last year after spending 4 seasons with the Ravens. So he's been in for a handful of years, and he started 65 games, but failed to make the 53-man roster on the Giants this year. But Brian is supposedly supposed to miss another 1 to 3 weeks with the knee injury. So he's like an emergency option if like stuff gets really, really unfortunate for the Rams. So we'll see. Hopefully, hopefully he just we don't need to bring him up because no more injuries, no more injuries. But we did sign somebody. This was interesting. We signed outside linebacker Tack McKinley off of the Titans practice squad. Well, look at that. Now, apparently, this guy is a former first round pick. So that's pretty cool. And according to ESPN, they're signing him off the Titans practice squad, and he's going to be promoted to the 53-man roster. So this dude might play. He might. He probably won't play at all this week, but he could get some like rotation. Like he could be a rotational player. So and some depth pieces. So that is interesting. I don't know. He was a former first round pick, by the Falcons, by the Falcons back in 2017. And he's been to the Raiders, the Browns, and the Titans. He played 15 games the last 2 years, and he's made 6 starts in that span. Okay. He had 2.5 sacks. So he started a pair of games, got a couple of sacks. So, you know, nothing too earth shattering, but, he went to UCLA. He's from Oakland. Um, and he was good in college for sure. But, he's gonna him and Kiera Thomas are probably gonna compete for spots, so for like playing time. So we'll see. If he plays well, put him in because we need a good pass. Our pass rush needs to get a lot better. So, but I have faith that we'll get. They're kind of. I'm assuming they're more so getting their feet wet again with playing football, and generally they want to focus more so on the run. So that's probably what their main concern is, and I agree. Their main concern should be stopping the run. So, but would be nice to get some sacks too here pretty soon. But they'll come. They'll come. Bryce Hopkins is suspended for 3 games, unfortunately, for violating the league's substance abuse policy. And we have 2 tight ends on the roster. And now we are down to 1 following Wednesday's news ahead of the week 3 matchup against the Cardinals. Hopkins has been suspended for the league's substance abuse policy. And that kind of blows. That actually blows a lot. And because he's not going to be there for San Francisco. He's not going to be there for the Cowboys. And that kind of sucks. And Bobby Brown got suspended too earlier for PED violation. So y'all need to chill. Y'all need to behave yourselves. This is crazy. But I mean, they could Roger Carter Jr. or Jared Pinkney could be brought up for depth, and I don't know if they'll do that. I don't know if they'll do that. We'll see. We'll see. I would like to see more of the 2 tight end sets, but I mean, if they can't block, they can't block. So I mean, it's just we'll see. We'll see, man. But so the injury. Let's go ahead and take a look at the injury report. And okay, okay. So Kobe Durant, he had like a hamstring issue. In what's crazy is Sean apparently said on the show that he actually injured it. Do you remember that big interception return he had? Like 50, 60 yards. He ran it 50, 60 yards after he picked it off. Apparently the guy pulled it before that play. I mean, he didn't look hurt to me, but I mean, I guess he pulled it beforehand. So hopefully that's healed up by now. We'll see. Hamstrings can be a little tricky, and hopefully that's healed up and good to go because we could sure use him this week going up against Kyler Murray. So Van Jefferson, I guess, is still out. He's on track. Aaron Donald got a rest day, and he should. Older player. Aaron's gonna be good. Aaron, it's been a little quiet the first couple games, but he'll trust me. He's gonna do his thing for sure. It's very very early, very early. So he'll be there when we need him the most. So I have no doubt at all for Aaron Donald's production. But David Long was limited with a growing injury as well. A lot of those apparently. The Ram needed him healthy, with Durant and Hill both on the mend. Yeah, so we'll see. David struggled a little bit, so we definitely need him though because like we got a lot of dudes injured right now. So the Cardinals really James Conner might not play, so Ronald Moore and JJ Watt is kind of up in the air as well. So we'll see. They didn't practice. A lot of them were just kind of like how we do it with Aaron Donald. They're just like resting right now. All right, and I wanted to end on this here. The former Rams running back Steven Jackson has been nominated for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Well, how about them apples? Okay, how about them apples? That is pretty good. Jackson, our first round pick back all the way in 2004, man. 2004. Oh my god. That was so long ago. That is crazy. That is so crazy, man. And in this time, he's rushed for 10,000 yards in the St. Louis days. So, and let me tell you something. As y'all know, if y'all were following the team back then, the team, the St. Louis Rams, in this time period, all right, after we had won the Super Bowl, after Kurt Warner left and Falk left, and everyone left, and after all that, the team was trash. Absolute trash. Some of the worst football I've ever seen. It was very hard to watch. Very hard to watch. Lord have mercy, man. That those were the days, man. Let me tell you. But here's the thing, though. Steven Jackson was one of the very few bright spots of that. This man deserved really to be on a better team and to win some rings because he was way too good for us. So if you remember, he replaced Marshall Falk back in 2004. And let's look at some stats because I want to look at some of these stats here. And apparently in total he rushed for 10,138 yards, 56 touchdowns, over 131 games in St. Louis, and is among the 129 nominees announced Tuesday, so yesterday. Jackson, he was the 24th overall pick, also caught some more stats here. 407 passes for 3,324 yards, added another 1,659 yards when he was with the Falcons and the Patriots. And I believe he did actually get a ring with the Patriots. I do believe that. I think so. I'm not 100%. But Torrey Holt is also nominated. Henry Ellard, Dre Bly. Dre Bly was awesome. Also nominated. Torrey Holt was a Hall of Fame finalist last year and could be getting in shortly. Holt should have already been in, but I guess they just want to wait and kind of just take their sweet time with this. So, but I think whole if he doesn't get in this year, I think he'll get it next year. He would have to. He would have to. I mean, get him in there for sure. We need to get all our greatest show on turf guys in the hall. We need to get them all in there. Get them all in there. All right. But let's see. There was only 3 players ranked. So going back to Steven Jackson, there was only 3 players ranked above him for more career rushing yards, and are not yet in the Hall of Fame. Okay, so these guys were ahead of him. Frank Gore, who was a beast and just tore us to pieces, ran us over so many times. It was not fun to watch. And then Adrian Peterson, who was also pretty darn good, will get in eventually. Fred Taylor has been eligible for much longer and has not gotten in. That's crazy. But Jackson never led, and the NFL in rushing, and once had more than 1,800 yards from scrimmage. He did lead the league in yards from scrimmage and was named a second team All Pro that year. Okay. And Jackson won that twice and 3 times and went to the Pro Bowl 3 times. And Torrey Holt led the NFL in receiving yards and was a household name in a potent passing offense that won the Super Bowl. Now, Jackson, see this is where it gets, this is the good stuff right here too. This man had 8 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons as a running back. 8 consecutive seasons. And we were trash that entire time. Trash. Absolute trash. And this was crazy here. He actually has more than 3,000 more rushing yards than Falk does. And he is the franchise all-time leader in this category. This, like, get him in there. Like, Steven Jackson had to put up with so much shit in his time with us. Dude, and we were such a terrible team. We had, and he was the only thing worth watching, dude. So I hope he gets in. I really do. I hope he gets in. So, and I hope Torrey gets in too. Get him in there. Get Torrey in there for sure. But that's going to be it for now, guys. I will catch you guys on the next one. And as always, go Rams.